Hey everyone, Ben Reeve here from The Hoop Show, and thank you for joining me again. It's now Sunday afternoon. This is my new intro music, hope you like it, something a little bit different. But yeah, we're recording this on a Sunday afternoon. Had some good time to have a think about the match last night. Boy, oh boy, did I enjoy it, and what a game to take the three kids to as well. You don't want to take them to a game where you know you're going to lose, because they just go, I don't really enjoy this, I don't want to come anymore. But you pick a game where you know you're going to win by 112 points, and they just have happy memories to take away for the rest of their life, don't they? And they're long life Geelong supporters. That's how you do it. For any new parents out there that are thinking about taking their kids to the footy for the first time, listen to the Hoops and he'll put you on the right path with parenting in that regard. So, yeah, Cats did the business against North. 21-18, 144 to 5 goals to 32. Oh, God, that scoreline looks a bit like that Melbourne game from a few years back, I think 2011. Oh, that was a shocker, wasn't it? Look, there was a couple of... no one really gave North a chance, let's be honest, before the game. And we had it laid out. Sam DeConning didn't front up. Apparently a cork thigh, but I guess any kind of slight niggle, they're going to rest a player with 5 days. But before the next game, and Selwood through the week was ruled out being managed as well. And yeah, North had a couple of players missing, and then in the first quarter, a couple of players went down and didn't come out again after quarter time. So they were really up against it early. They did quite well in the first quarter though. I was really pleased with how competitive they were, even though I guess we dropped the ball for about 10 minutes there towards the end. But you know, they were competitive. They were in the game for most of it. I think we were only a goal in front at one point, 3 goals all in the first quarter. You know, we kicked a bit inaccurately. But we were getting a lot of it, though, and that was the thing. It's like, oh, goodness me, if we kick straight, North are in bit trouble. And yeah, but after that, second, third, and fourth quarter, it was an absolute annihilation. And yeah, North have got some problems, and we'll get into that. But yeah, lots of problems down at Arden Street. I don't know how they're going to pull their way out of it. I'm a strong believer that you don't go to the draft. You don't bottom out. That's not the way to build a club. I think it starts with your culture. It starts with your leadership. And having good people at the club to steer you in the right place. A lot of people say Geelong, we're middling, we're never going to win a premiership, but I'll take that every day of the week rather than finishing in 11th spot and having to put up with the North Melbourne fans are having to put up with at the moment. No, that's not a shot on their players. It's a whole club thing. You can't really point the finger at anyone in particular, but it's just one of those things. Like we're so lucky to support Geelong. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Let's have a look at some of the ticks, and goodness me, there was a lot. And I've kept it to 5. I tried to keep it to 5, but let's have a look. First thing I want to say is, and there wasn't many there, but the North Melbourne fans who stayed to the very bitter end in 6 degrees temperature in Geelong. Their team getting smashed by 112, looking at your 13th straight loss. Terrible percentage, but no, you stuck it out to the end. So good on you, North Melbourne fans. You know who you are. Or if you are a Geelong supporter, I think you can probably put yourself in their shoes sometimes when we've had a really bad loss and when the temptation's been there to walk out. But no, they've done really well. They've come all the way from Melbourne, and I guess there's some North supporters in Geelong as well. But they've done really well to support their team through a really, really tough night. So good on you. Hawkins got a bag. Now, I predicted he was going to get a bag, didn't I, in my preview show? And he did. He kicked 6 goals. Looked really good. I was a bit worried about him in the first quarter. He seemed to be getting beaten in one-on-one contests a bit, but throughout the night, he just, you know, he's a crafty man, isn't he? He knows where to go, and he got the ball a stack, and yeah, 6 goals, and that was probably what he should have got, really. Jezza, I'll jump into the next. I'll get back to Jezza in a sec, but I really like unselfish football, and the player I want to point out here is Gary Rowan. First game back after missing last week, but a couple of chances he had to kick a goal, and his first thought was to give off, I think it was a 25-metre handball at one point, and nice kick here and there. I think he might have had a hand in 3 or 4 goals. So he was really happy with Gary Rowan and his efforts on the night, and he probably could have chased and tackled a little bit more, but But at the same time, I'm happy that he didn't overdo it. It's North, and we just needed to get through relatively unscathed, which we did. So that was good. So really happy with the unselfish style of play. That was fantastic. Jezza's back on top of the Coleman medal where he belongs. He's. I didn't think he was going to get there at one point because he kept missing. He kept having that shot, and I think he missed about 3 in a row, and then it got very ridiculous at the end, didn't it? There was just the resistance was down. There was just, I don't know, we were just having shots everywhere. But Jezza finally got it, and I think he's in front by a goal now. So well done, Jezza. And Hawkins, I thought, was actually going to get there too, the way he was travelling. I think he needed 8 to catch up to Charlie Curnow, but no, ended up on 6. So good on him. And didn't we love Baby Guthrie when he went bang from 45? He got it. I love Baby Guthrie. I think he's not up there with Closey. Closey, you're my number one. You'll always be my number one. Tui, I love you as well. But Baby Guthrie, you're climbing. Ooh, the muscles, those muscles on you, Baby Guthrie, they're getting bigger by the day. Don't ever change, Baby Guthrie. Just gotta oil up a little bit more. You know, the ladies like it, so, and the boys too. But yeah, oil up a little bit, and we're loving what you're doing. All right, some crosses. Couldn't find many. I always try and find a couple, but anyway, let's have a look at the crosses. It's Selwood, Hawkins, you nearly dropped him. What are you doing? Sharon Duncan off at the end. He's nearly gone A over T at the end and done himself a spinal injury. Thankfully, they managed to hang on to him, but it didn't look good there for a second. He looked like he was going to topple over backwards and land on his neck. But I think he dropped the footy at one point, and was it Blitzarves that came over? No, it might have been Jezza, one of those two that came over and gave him the football back. So well done on that one. On a sadder note, more serious note, I think David Noble, he might be done. I think David Noble, I was thinking in the preview, geez, I wouldn't want North to lose big because that could be the end of him. I think by Monday or Tuesday, that's probably the news will come out of Arden Street that he's done. So that'd be a bit of a shame if that was the case. But it's looking like that's going to happen. If not this week, then the following week. How do you hang on after a 100-point loss when it's the 13th loss in a row? Maybe there's a reason to stay on to the end of the year, but because, I don't know, it's just your club's in turmoil. It's just a bit of stability, but clearly that was a vote from the players that we need change. So, anyway. Koladashny got a bit of a head knock towards the end there, so hopefully he's okay. I haven't seen the medical report coming out of the game as to whether that was a concussion or not, or whether it was just precautionary. So hopefully he's fine. Whether he plays in 5 days' time, who knows? Be curious to see what happens with that. I imagine we're going to rest a couple more players. I think that'll probably be how we manage this 2-game stretch over the 5 days. We've rested a couple this week. We'll probably rest a couple more the following week. And then that's how we'll get through it. So hopefully we'll get Danger back, and Sam DeConning you'd think would come back as well, and then we'll probably just maybe rest a couple of others. And Danger did okay with his limited game time, so he should be fine. So, another silly one because I'm really struggling with the crosses this week, but I had to come up with a couple anyway. So the crappy Wi-Fi. In saying it was great. It's even worse normally, but thankfully there wasn't a full crowd, and reduced capacity. But couldn't get a signal to save myself. Trying to send out the odd tweet or take a photo or things like that, and just couldn't do much at all. Trying to check scores, no good. So I know we don't play that many games at Kardinia Park, and it's a costly exercise to get half decent Wi-Fi, but. Goodness me, hopefully with the 40,000 seat stadium that's coming soon, hopefully that's something that they're considering improving. That'd be good if you could. And lastly, we were on level 3 on the Moorabool Street side, and the food is crap up there. Like, what if you had a bar, and then you were selling bloody baked goods that were, 3 days old. It was just, where's the food upstairs? I didn't get it, so... Maybe there's no room for it, and you can't get on the second level because that's for the Peroni Lounge. So there's a bit of a whinge, but anyway, I got to the game with 20 minutes to spare, and the kids are all hungry because we hadn't eaten yet, and I'm like, "Where's the food?" Oh, I've got to go down 3 levels, climb 3, and then go up again and battle the crowds and all that sort of stuff. So you got to find something to whinge about, don't you? All right, let's have a look at my votes for the week. I think it's pretty obvious that Jezza is getting the big number 5 votes, and he wears number 5 on his back as well. It's what he's all about, the big number 5. Gave Tommy Hawkins the 4 votes. Oh, it's hard when you kick 6 goals to not be the best player on the ground, isn't it? But sadly, Tommy, you didn't have 30 touches, 4 goals and 10 marks like Jezza did. So Jez is the man. He's the man, and he's good. Can we give him the Brownlow as well as the Common? Can we do it? He deserves it. He's a gun. But yeah, Jezza, really, from at about half time, I was ready to give the full vote, 5 votes to Cam Guthrie, but Jezza then sort of came into his own a little bit, didn't he? And really just took over. Mitchy Duncan in his 250th game. Well done, Mitch. We all love you, and it was really nice to see you get a few cheers from the crowd, especially at the end when you took a mark. It was poetry, wasn't it? It was beautiful when you it was scripted like that. You took the mark and then had the shot after the siren, and everyone, mate, what were you doing? Everyone wanted you to kick a torpy, but you didn't listen. And then you say, I'm going to go to the drop punt. How good would that have been? It wouldn't have mattered if you scored. Like, we were already 112 points up. Who cares? Just kick the torpy next time. It's not going to, maybe for your 300th, if you somehow happen to have a kick after the siren again, after a 12-point win, please kick a torpy, because that's do what the crowd wants. No one ever does. I remember the days when I'm showing my age here, Ben Graham kicking out from fullback. Every time the crowd says, kick a bloody torpy, and he wouldn't listen. I think the chant went up for Tui at one point to kick a torpy as well, and he did his little sunset shuffle and ended up kicking another drop punt. And I can't remember I think he missed that one, so that was from 50 as well. So you have to listen to the fans, because the fans is what make it happen. But anyway, I'm not being that serious. Blitzarves, I think he played pretty well as well. He was really good kicking efficiency, had mid-20s in terms of possessions, and rucked and ran all day long, and took a really nice mark in the first quarter as well. That was fantastic. So really happy with all the boys. Pretty hard to actually pick 5, but I mean, Jezza stands out clearly. But yeah, you could say 10 players really deserve votes, if not 15 of them. Didn't really see. I mean, Menangola had a couple of moments that were a bit frustrating, but I don't really want to pot anyone. I think as a whole, we all played really well. I'm sure Menangola had some really good moments too. Kicked that nice around the corner goal on his left. Looked a bit angry when he kicked that, actually, like he was frustrated with his own game, and just sort of, his body language is a bit weird there. But yeah, as a whole, I think the boys played great. Let's have a look at some tweets before we wrap the show up. I'm going to go with Loz for Mrs. Loznoz, and Loz says, no passengers, forwards were awesome. Win for Mitch. He should have gone the barrel to set his goal. Exactly. Danger's first goal reminds us of how good he is fit. Thump the D's Thursday and we're on top. Yeah. How good was that? We didn't talk about this, but Danger kicks a goal in 10 seconds. I was watching the clock, and it's like, the goal umpire's like slow motion sort of doing that. And another 5 seconds went off the clock, something like that. So he's credited as kicking the goal in the first 13 seconds, but no, it's 10 seconds he kicked that goal, just out of the goals where, boom, Danger, he's back. Ooh, didn't it look good? That was great. Yeah, that was fantastic. And look, we got a tough game on Thursday against the Demons. I don't know how we're going to go on that one, but look, they're coming off a 5-day break as well, so it's going to be interesting. Hopefully it's a cracker. Let's just and we can get a full crowd there as much as we can with the reduced capacity in the stand. But hopefully we will get a big crowd there and we can cheer the boys on. We should have won it last time, but Max Gawn did his thing and we coughed up a pretty big lead there as well in that last quarter. So that wasn't great. All right, who's next? Claire, welcome to the show, Claire. I don't think I've had you on before. And Claire says, North Melbourne supporters stayed for the entire match in the middle of winter as it blew out to a 100-point plus deficit. Yeah, look, as I said before, I think, hand up, I've actually left the occasional game, not for many years now, but I have done it before where Geelong hasn't been going too well, and it's a cold night, but these North, and I'm 15 minutes away from the ground, but these North supporters have come all the way up from Melbourne and they've stayed to the end and they've put up with a lot this year, and there's not much hope on the horizon. So the fact that they hung around, Claire, good on them. You can't really knock them. So yeah, happy with that. All right, let's have a look at what Ron is our next tweeter of the week, and Ron says, I remember many times the Roos have come down the highway and given us a going over, in particular the day the highway was flooded and Kerry beat us on his own. So it's hard to feel sorry for them, but I do. Yeah, I mean, we were just sitting back looking at the players, and they were really crap. I mean, sorry, North, but I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you were like these players are really struggling, and they just don't I don't think it's that they don't care. It's just that they're so down on themselves at the moment. They just look like a VFL side. It was really hard to watch. Normally I'm very one-eyed and I'm just watching our boys, but I couldn't help but notice how bad the North side was. So hopefully they turn it around. We're not playing them again till next year. So let's hope the North boys go on a 7-game run to finish the year and have something to look forward to in 2023. That would be nice, wouldn't it? All right, who's next? Bonnie. Now, my daughter's name is Bonnie as well, so I like that name. Bonnie says, still undefeated after the Albanese government. Yeah, I don't know if Elbow's got anything to do with how Geelong's going, but it is curious that we still haven't lost for a while there. I remember a couple of years ago, is it 2019? I think it might have been 2019. My nan, she's passed away, but she was on death's door, and the Cats hadn't lost pretty much all year, I think. Yeah, they were undefeated for like 10 games in a row or something like that. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is great. They're playing for Nan, and then she passed away. And then, sure enough, the week that she passed away, I shouldn't be laughing. It's a few years ago now. But yeah, no, the Cats lost after. I think we lost to Port Adelaide. I was in Bali at the time. But yeah, no, not good. So yeah, I don't think we'll keep it going, Bonnie. I think we'll beat Melbourne this week. I think we've got Carlton after that. So a couple of tough games coming up. Let's hope we continue on for the next 3 years undefeated while they're in government. Anyway, all right. Last tweet of the week is from Jared, and I think Jared is the first time on the show as well. Welcome, Jared. What a win! Strong statement, and so fitting for Mitch Duncan to have the last kick in his 250th game. Now for the top of the table clash next round. Go Cats! Go Geelong Cats! It was so fitting. I couldn't have scripted it any better for Mitchie to have the ball in his hands at the end. The only thing would have been better if he had read the last page of the script, which called for the torpy, but you didn't read the last page of the script, Mitch. But that's all right. We live and learn. And yeah, so big game next week against the Demons. Hopefully you can all get there, or at least should be on the telly free to air. So yeah, that'll be good to sort of sit down there, get your cheese boards out because it's Melbourne, and get a nice couple of spreads going, bit of nice cheese, some salami and crackers and so forth, and put it on your lap and enjoy that. Anyway, might be a bit silly, but yeah, great win, Cats. Can't really say much more. It was, I think we all went to bed Saturday night very happy, woke up Sunday morning feeling fantastic, and we got to watch all the highlights all over again and things like that. Just wrapping up, just again, thank you for everyone. There's been a bit of a jump in subscribers lately, so I really appreciate everyone who's just jumped on board in the last couple of weeks. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone else who's been on board for throughout the year as well. I think we started the year with about maybe 50 subs or something like that, so it's grown a lot. We're nearly up to 300, so thank you sincerely to each and every one of you for joining the channel and supporting the channel. Check out our shows through the rest of the week. We've got an interview with Caden McDonald on Monday night on the Behind the Play show. So looking forward to that with Paul James, our host for that show. And the boys will be back for Draft Wars in a couple of days' time as well for episode number 10. And Kieran Fields will do our little last time series later in the week in the lead up to the Melbourne game, which is going to be a hard watch, unfortunately. But we need to learn, and so we need to revisit the past, the painful past of the prelim. Too many P's there, but we'll need to do that. Anyway, and might put something else through the week. I'll let you know how I go with that. All right, go Cats! Let's win another one in the next week, and yeah, it's going to be a big one against Melbourne. Go Cats!